interesting tutorial here on this channel. So today's tutorial will be making this beautiful cone dress, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. So this cone dress is actually very creative and it's beautiful. So in this class I'll be showing you how to achieve this cone dress. So the cone dress will be having some calculation before we proceed. So I'll be using a small scale drafting as usual to show you how to go about this cone dress. So I'm just using this paper as my fabric. So I'll be explaining to you how many yards and how many inches you are going to make your own cone dress. So now we want to start off with the calculation of this cone, starting from our waist circumference. The waist circumference we are working with here is 36 inches. And if you look at that dress, you can see we have some pleats to it. We have about 3 cones in front. That is to say we'll have 3 cones at the back as well. So for where we have each cone, we have a pleat before the cone is being attached. So this particular pleating, I'm going to pleat for one pleat 8 inches, and I have 6 pleats, that is times 6 for front and back. So we'll be doing 8 times 6. Okay, so 8 times 6, we have 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 plus 24 will be having 48. So 8 times 6 is 48 inches. Okay, so we have 48 inches only for our pleats and 36 inches only for our waist. Okay, then plus zipper allowance of 2 inches at the back, so making it 38. So we'll be adding 38 plus 48. That will give us how many yards we'll be using for this dress. So here I have 8 plus 8 is 16 and 86. So we are using 86 inches yards. For this 86 inches, a yard is 36. So I'll be doing 86 over 36. So I'll be having 2.5 yards here. Okay, so you can just do your calculation, because 36 plus 36 is 72 already. So about half a yard, 2.5 yards. That is what you'll be using for this particular dress. So right now I'm going to cut what I have here on my brown paper as my fabric, 2.5 yards. So the length of your fabric you are going to use depends on which length you desire. So if you are using Ankara for it, then Ankara comes in 47 inches by length. So you desire your own length. So if I'm to work on my length, if this is from here to here is my yard, that is running 2.5 yards, I'll be using the length of the gown. I'll be doing my waist circumference to my length. Okay, so it depends on what you want your length to be. This is going to be attached to the waist, which is half length. So it depends on you. You can do any length of your choice. Okay, your length can actually be maybe 30 inches added to your upper bodies, which might be 17. So everything will be giving you about 47 inches. Okay, so from here to here I'll be using 30 inches for this particular dress, but you desire your length yourself. So now it's time for us to start up the pleating. So remember that the whole 2.5 yards you are going to fold it in 2. That is, if this is your fabric, you are going to fold in 2. 1 inch will be your zipper allowance for this side, and you'll be having your center front here. So I'll just make a notch to identify my center front. That is very important. So this is my center front. So as you can see here, this is the center front, and that is where we want to start up our pleating. So remember, the pleats goes 3 this way, 3 this way. So the cone we have right now, we want to start making our pleats. Okay, so the pleats we are making right here, like I actually said, we are using 8 inches. So since this is a small scale drafting, I will not be using all my 8 inches, but if you are measuring from the center front, you measure from your center front 4 inches, you go over this way another 4 inches. So I'm just using a small scale for you. So what we are making now is the pleat. So this pleat is made this way. It will come to my center front here, and it's going to come back to my center front back here. So I've made the first pleat, and this first pleat is going to carry my first cone. So I'll come in and I'll apply my adhesive. Okay, so this is your 2.5 yards which we are pleating now at 4 inches, which is 8 inches calculated. So you can see that if you measure 4 inches and fold in, you have your first kissing pleat. So now we have 18 yards. That is half of the waist is 18 from here. Half of my waist is 18 from here. So this 18, I'm going to divide it by 4. If I divide 18 by 4, so whatever half of your waist is divided by 4, whatever result you have, that will be what you'll be sharing on the box split part. So if my 18 by 4 is still 4 inches, I'll just measure from here to here 4 inches, and from here I'll measure my 8 inches. Okay, and this 8 inches I'll share it 4 inches. That is my pleat. I'll share it 4 inches as calculated. So I believe you're understanding what I'm talking about here. So from here I'll come in here. As you can see, I'm making another pleat that will carry my cone. So I bring it to the center, and from these 4 inches I'll also bring it back to the center. So note that I'm working on a small scale drafting, so it's actually not going to give you exactly what it should be given on the dress, but with this principle and with your own calculation, you are going to get this dress the way it is right there on the thumbnail. So next, I'm going to measure my 4 inches, which I calculated. Remember, we have a calculation for it. So I'll just measure the 4 inches, and after the 4 inches, I'll measure my 8 inches, which is the pleating. Okay, so that is my 4 inches, my 4 inches for my pleats. So I'll go ahead and pick up this and match it up back here. I'll pick this now. I'll match it up here, and I'll pick this. I'll match it up here, as you can see. So can you see what we got with one side of our pleat? And this is the zipper, 1 inch zip allowance. So now you can see we have 1, 2, 3. That will carry the cone. So we'll come over this side, and I'll practically repeat the same thing I did. So from here I'll still measure my box pleats, and I'll measure my my kissing pleats. So this is my kissing pleat of 4 inches, which we calculate. It depends on what you want your kissing pleat. You might do 5 inches as your kissing pleat, which will give you 10. Okay, so if you want it to kiss well and give enough gap, you can increase it. So this is it, and this is it. Okay, so now I will measure another 4 inches, which is the box pleats, and measure another kissing pleat. So I'm going to kiss it once again. So by the time you have gotten your kissing pleats, okay, so that is the first thing you are going to get. You make sure you get all your kissing pleats, okay. So now the next thing you are going to do is to open them up. So I just use one to open up, but before I open up, I'm going to take my waist to the full length. I have 12, so these 12 inches I'm going to use it as my length to create what I have there on the cone. So my cone is going to be cone of 12. It's going to be cone of 12 inches. Okay, so I just want to use this. I'll set my pattern aside. So it's going to be cone of length. That is your own length, desired length. But since I'm working on a small scale, I'll just use what I have on my paper as my cone length. So this is my cone length, and I'm going to construct the cone length right now, the cone construction. So for the cone construction, I'll just place my tape and measure 20 inches. So from here to here now is 20 inches for my cone. So this 20 inches, I'll find the midpoint of it. So once I get my midpoint now will serve, will be 10 inches shared. So I'll just connect from the midpoint to the end. I'll connect from this midpoint to the end, okay. So once that is done, next I will go up by 3 inches. 3 inches. Make sure you go up by 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. That is what will go up by your cone. And from the center front, you place your pattern ruler if you want, but you need your pattern ruler actually for this. So I'll just go this way and go this way. So that is the construction of my cone, which I've constructed right now. So I just go ahead and cut this cone. Actually, this dress is very beautiful and creative, okay, but there are lots of work to it. So the construction of this cone, we have a pattern of constructing this cone. You are going to make two for each cone. We have 6 cones there, 3 in the front and 3 at the back. But for each pattern, you are going to make fabric and lining, okay. That is 2 times cutting for each fabric and lining. So this fabric and lining you are going to make now, you are going to sew your crinoline on this to give it this cone. If you have 4 inches crinoline, beautiful. You also use your boning. You are going to use your heart stay, collar stay, to make this cone to pop up like this. So if you're interested to know how to make a cone dress, we have beautiful tutorials on our Telegram on how to make your cone perfectly, okay. So you can also join us to learn how to do that. So but for the purpose of this tutorial, this cone right now, I'm going to attach this cone. This cone is going to be attached at the middle of each of them like this. So at the middle of each of them, this is what I'm going to do. I'll just come to the center of each. I'll just make a straight line to the center of each of them. So this is the center for this one. I'll just come into my dress, which I've pleated. I'll open it up this way for each. That is what I'm going to do. I'll come in with my cone, and I'm going to sew this cone into it like this. So after turning with lining my crinoline, ironing it, you know, you just turn each one of it this way. Open up each one of these this way and sew. Okay, so if this is sewn now, I'll just use my adhesive and pretend I've sewn it. So I'll just go to my machine after I've prepared this fully. Okay, let me use this part. I'll just, you know, go in and sew it from the down part of this dress. So once I sew, anywhere it terminates, you can see it terminating somewhere here. So I've sewn this now. I'll also turn it this way and sew. So I'm going to also apply my adhesive, pretending I'm sewing it on my machine, as you can see. So I just come in this way. From the below, I will stitch, stitch, stitch. So you can see me, I'm stitching it on my machine right now. So this is what the back is going to look like. So at the end of the day, when repeating this for all of the cones, you go and serge. Okay, so by the time you serge the back, you come back to the front. Like I said, you need your crinoline, you need your heart stay. That is the only way this cone will stand the way you are seeing it on the thumbnail. So you can see it right here. This is just exactly what you have on the thumbnail, and it's actually looking creative and beautiful. Okay, so this is actually a beautiful dress. Can you see that? So this is it, people, and that is how you do repeat this section for this and for this and for that. So at the end of the day, everything pops up like this for you. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial, and I believe you learned a lot from this class. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next